What a start to the NBA season. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Runs on Diesel. Let's get right into business here as the NBA season is in full swing now. Starting off with the Eastern Conference and the Boston Celtics, who have picked up where they have left off. They have been the story here at the start of the NBA season as they lead the league in scoring at over 120 points a game. I mean, the list goes on and on. You talk about offensive statistical categories. Boston is in the top 5, whether it's three-point percentage, three-pointers made per game, free throw percentage, field goal percentage. They commit the least amount of turnovers at just under 12 and a half turnovers a game. They're taking care of the basketball. They're top 10 in assists per game, averaging over 26 assists per game. So Boston is doing everything right here at the start of the season. And guess what? They don't even have Rob Williams back. Granted, the defense has been a little lackluster at the start of the season here, but once Rob Williams comes back in that defensive anchor for the Boston Celtics, this team is going to be in full swing. And like I said, we expect the defense to get much, much better for the Boston Celtics. Number 2, right behind them is the Milwaukee Bucks. And guess what? Chris Middleton isn't even back yet. Giannis missed a couple of games here and there. They have struggled. They struggled against Atlanta. Atlanta has beat them twice in the early going here, which is very surprising. It's like with Boston. Cleveland beat Boston twice here in the early going of the season. So a lot to be said there. But Giannis and company, they don't have Middleton, but they're off to a fantastic start as they always are, on pace for 60-plus wins. And they're 10-3. At number 3, here in the Eastern Conference, we got the Atlanta Hawks, obviously coming off the acquisition of DeJounte Murray from the San Antonio Spurs. They are off to a fiery start here. You got John Collins, you got Clint Capella. Obviously, Trae Young has been a fantastic player since he has come out of Oklahoma a few years back. And they are off to a fantastic start, 9-5. Right behind them, the Cleveland Cavaliers at number 4 with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. What a 1-2 combination these two guys are right now. Donovan Mitchell playing as like an all-star candidate. And not only that, he's one of the dark horses for the MVP this year if they continue at this rapid-fire, fast start that they have. The New York Knicks, they're 7-7 after the acquisition of Jalen Brunson. Yes, they do have other guys like Julius Randle, who's been on that team for a few years now, led by Tom Thibodeau. I like what I'm seeing out of the New York Knicks. Can they string together games of consistency? But a very slow start for the Philadelphia 76ers as the camaraderie is not there yet between Harden and Embiid. And okay, I'm going to jump on my soapbox here because Joel Embiid needs to stop shooting the 3-ball. Let's be fully honest here. He needs to be going down in the paint and beasting and feasting. Barbecue chicken alert, as Shaq always says. Like, I need to see more of Joel Embiid 15 feet and inside because he is so dominant down there. He is easily probably the best big man, arguably the best big man in the league today. And I would like to see him 15 feet and under. Now, we move out to the Western Conference. And the biggest surprise for me has been the Golden State Warriors, who are struggling 6-8. They just put Wiseman down to the G League. I mean, you would think this team would have some camaraderie, and they do. They lead the NBA in assists per game, averaging 29 assists a game. How in the world are they 6-8? The defense is just lacking. Like, let's be real here. Nothing against Kevon Looney, but they have struggled to have a solid big man who is going to sit there and block shots night in and night out. Yes, we know Draymond Green's a defensive anchor. We know Klay Thompson's a shell of himself, unfortunately, and I hate to say that. He is not averaging what we're used to him averaging. He's only averaging like 14 points a game. Curry playing at an MVP level right now. He's the reason why they're 6-8 right now. Nothing against anyone else on that team, but Curry, if Curry doesn't go off the way he does, like, for example, the game against Cleveland the other night, Cleveland dominated the whole entire game until the last 4 minutes of the ball game, and Curry just went off. And that's how Golden State, that's the heart of a champion for you right there. That experience late in ball games when you're down and you need a big bucket. Golden State's been there before, and that was the difference in last year's NBA Finals between them and the Boston Celtics. But long story short, Golden State has been the surprise story here at the early part of the season. Man, the Portland Trailblazers, 10-4, Anthony Simons, Dame time. I'm telling you, these two guys have been going off for them. You got Nurkic, the acquisition of Jeremy Grant, and Josh Hart, two defensive-minded guys, but both of these guys can put the ball in the hole. If Portland stays in the top 4 in the Western Conference, these two guys are going to be the acquisitions that we're like, okay, these are the guys that got them over the hump. And can they make a deep postseason run here? Guess what, people? It's way too early to be talking about the postseason. Let's get to the All-Star break, and then we can make another assessment of what do we think of these teams? Who are the contenders and the pretenders? By the way, stick around for that episode coming up in the NFL, coming at you shortly. But Trailblazers 10-4, Denver's right behind them at 9-4. Utah Jazz, what a story they've been at the beginning of the season. They're 10-6. Unfortunately, they've lost 3 in a row. And to be honest, Danny Ainge has got to be like tossing and turning at night and cannot fall asleep because he dumped his 2 best players, Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland, and he got rid of Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And they have a winning record to start the season. I mean, Danny Ainge has got to be losing a lot of sleep on this, but Lauri Markkanen, what a great start for him. Do I smell all-star? I think Lauri Markkanen, this is his breakout year. I believe he can be an all-star. He leads the team in points and rebounds, 21 points a game, just under 9 rebounds a game for them. But Lauri Markkanen, I'm telling you right now, he's been playing great for them. You got Jordan Clarkson, you got Mike Conley, who's taking more of a step back role in terms of the scoring. He's still averaging 10 points, but he is averaging a high assist mark at 8.5 a game. I love what I'm seeing out of Utah, but so much for tanking for Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz. Timberwolves 6-8. Timberwolves off to a bad start. I memean, what is going on with D'Angelo Russell? Remember, they just got Rudy Gobert, and there's going to be a little bit of, I don't want to say headbutting, but there can be some headbutting because now you've got Cat as the 4, and you have Rudy Gobert as the 5, which means Karl-Anthony Towns is not sitting around in the paint. Now they're getting him involved in pick and rolls, and they're making him defend the three-point line. And he, granted, it's something that needs to be said that he needs to improve his pick and roll defense, especially when it comes to hedging out at the three-point line or coming up and putting a hand up on a guy who's coming around the screen. We're not going to talk about the LA Lakers or the Brooklyn Nets because these guys are just these teams are just sideshows to the real talent and the teams that are really contending for an NBA championship. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Nothing against Durant, Kyrie, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Nothing against those 4 guys. But at the same time, though, Lakers 3-10. Brooklyn has a better record than that. I think they're 6-8 right now. But let's talk about the real contenders and pretenders. The real contenders here at the start of the season, even though we're only 15 games in. But thank you guys so much for your time. If you guys haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see all your faces in the next one. Deuces.